The time is 4:30. This is WKYT This Morning. 3 people are facing charges in one of the largest meth busts in Laurel County's history. We'll tell you all the details ahead.
Plus, Vice Presidential nominee Mike Pence is safe this morning after a scary plane landing. We'll tell you what investigators think may have caused it.
And with Halloween right around the corner, police want you to know the steps you should take to keep your child safe while out trick-or-treating. We'll have those stories and your weekend weather forecast, all coming up on WKYT This Morning.
This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning and welcome in. It's your Friday and we're glad you're on WKYT as we start off this day bright and early. It's really dark and early at this time, right?
Isn't it? Oh, yeah.
And foggy and early this morning. And I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Andrea Walker. It's already October 28th. Halloween is just 3 days away. I know people are getting excited because it's just going to be perfect.
Exactly. And I think you get the feeling it's sort of Halloween weekend for a lot of folks. Let's check in with meteorologist Micah Harris. He brought Buzz Lightyear in here yesterday.
Oh, I'm so mad.
He's ready.
I know, man. My little man came in here. It's just an impromptu visit. He went to the actual the library, and they had their little trick-or-treating going on. So he's Buzz Lightyear this year, has the helmet, the wings, and all. It's hilarious. Defender Radar Network, there's the look outside. Great start to the day. It is, however, chilly in most locations. The coolest air has not made its way down towards southeastern Kentucky just yet. In some spots it has, 48 in London, but look at 55 in Harlan and also sitting there in Hazard and Perry County. So then you go northbound, we're sitting in the 30s and 40s, so it just kind of depends on where you live early this morning. A nice fall day by the afternoon, though. It's 67 degrees. We will take that, but that is by far the coldest temperature you will see in a long time. I'll show you that in your 7-day forecast coming up.
All right, we'll see you then. Let's get to the news. Investigators call it one of the largest meth busts ever in Laurel County. Sheriff's deputies there tell us they found more than 2 pounds of meth at a home near London.
3 people are facing charges this morning in connection to the case. WKYT's Garrett Weimer has the details.
Investigators say they spent hours at this home on Greasy's Road, uncovering 2 pounds of meth and $16,000 in cash, as well as pills, marijuana, and several guns.
We have solved a lot of crimes and prevented a lot of crimes in the future by what we did here today.
They arrested Rick Bowling and Michelle Savage, charging them with trafficking meth and marijuana, as well as gun charges. Kenny Jones was charged with possession of drug paraphernalia and public intoxication. When I went by the house later, a man at the home who says he owns the place wasn't happy to see me.
I'm sorry to tell y'all don't need to set up. Y'all set up and call my lawyer filing charges.
Okay, do you have anything you want to say on camera?
No. Get out.
Investigators say they also put to work their new K-9, who helped uncover some of the stash at the home there. We first introduced you to Edge on Monday. Deputies say a big haul like this shows why having him is so good, not just for their department, but for everyone.
For us to have 2 pounds is just a huge amount. We have taken a lot of crystal meth out of circulation in Laurel County that would have destroyed a lot of lives, and we've taken it off the street today.
In Laurel County, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
While they were at the house, police arrested a next-door neighbor who had an outstanding warrant. They also arrested 2 other men with outstanding warrants who showed up at the house while investigators were there.
A Woodford County jury has convicted a man of killing his brother. Our news partners at the Herald-Leader report that Vernon Saunders was found guilty of second-degree manslaughter, evidence tampering, and abuse of a corpse. Police say back in 2014, Saunders killed his brother and then tied his body to the back of a truck and dragged him down a road. Saunders claimed that he thought his brother was an intruder. He'll be sentenced next month. The jury recommended 15 years in prison.
Lexington police and firefighters will be back at the Kentucky River this weekend to look for more human remains. The Valley View Ferry will be closed on Saturday because of the search. Investigators say they found human remains in the water near the ferry both last weekend and Wednesday. The Fayette County coroner says investigators likely won't find any DNA because they've been in the river for so long. People who live nearby say they hope investigators find answers soon.
It's deeply disturbing, you know. It's a real tragedy when anyone passes away. You know, I'm glad they do find the remains, and I hope they find the family and identify the victim.
The coroner says once investigators believe they have all the remains, they'll drive them to the forensic lab at the University of Tennessee to try to make an identification.
A committee formed by Democrats to investigate Republican Governor Matt Bevin is meeting today, but two state transportation cabinet employees invited to testify won't be there. Attorneys for the Bevin administration sent committee chair State Representative Jim Wayne a letter refusing to make those employees available. House Speaker Greg Stumbo appointed the commission. Its members are investigating if the governor delayed a road project in Jessamine County as a political vendetta. Republican vice presidential nominee Mike Pence is safe this morning after a scary plane landing. Authorities say Pence's plane skidded off the runway at New York's LaGuardia Airport last night. The plane overshot the runway and came to rest in the grass. Governor Pence told reporters that mud splashed onto the front windows of the plane. Officials say they're just glad that nobody was hurt.
Governor Pence and everyone on board the plane is fine. Thankfully, it's some great work by the Port Authority and all the airport authorities and the dedicated flight attendants. There were no injuries.
Investigators will now be looking to whether rain or turbulence played a role in the rough landing. Both were described by the passengers on board. Pence will be back on the campaign trail today. Now, on the campaign trail, a new batch of hacked emails from the Clinton campaign gave Donald Trump some new ammunition.
But Hillary Clinton got help from First Lady Michelle Obama in the meantime. Craig Boswell has the latest on Campaign 2016.
Donald Trump accused Bill and Hillary Clinton of using their charity to cash in personally. He was seizing on the latest batch of Clinton campaign emails released by WikiLeaks. In a confidential memo from 2011, the former president's aide, Doug Band, described how he urged Clinton Foundation donors to offer President Clinton paid speeches as well.
Mr. Band called the arrangement unorthodox. The rest of us call it outright corrupt.
Band said he was the foundation's chief fundraiser and arranged more than $50 million in for-profit activity for President Clinton, including in-kind services for the president and his family for personal travel, hospitality, vacation, and the like.
I think we've had enough of the Clintons, in all fairness.
Trump made those comments in Ohio, where he's tied with Clinton. She campaigned in North Carolina, another must-win state. The former First Lady got a boost from the current one.
She is absolutely ready to be commander-in-chief on day one, and yes, she happens to be a woman.
Clinton urged supporters to help her build on the Obama legacy.
I, for one, and I hope all of you, do not want that hard work by our president and our first lady and millions of Americans to be wiped away.
While Clinton has the lead in most national polls, the latest one from Fox News shows Trump narrowing the gap. Craig Boswell, CBS News, the White House.
The Clinton campaign released a statement saying the Clintons' incomes is clearly outlined in the 40 years of tax returns they've released, and pivoted to blaming Trump for failing to admit and condemn Russia's interference in U.S. democracy.
Halloween now just a few days away, and police across the Bluegrass are wanting to make sure that children stay safe while trick-or-treating. And they say there are some precautions that parents need to take before their children head out the front door. WKYT's Monique Blair explains.
It's Halloween. It's a holiday for children to go out and get candy from random strangers.
Ghosts, skeletons, witches, there are plenty of things meant to scare you on Halloween, but most people don't want to be scared when it comes to their children's safety. Several states across the nation have laws in place that protect your children from certain strangers on Halloween night. Those states, including Indiana and Ohio, prohibit sex offenders from taking part in Halloween activities, but Kentucky does not have that law.
It's kind of uncomfortable, only just because, you know, some sex offenders are child sex offenders, and, you know, you don't even know who they are really, and you don't know if they're targeting your child or not.
There is a Kentucky sex offender registry website that helps, though. We put in WKYT's address and searched a 5-mile radius. 140 offenders popped up. We were able to see a picture of each sex offender and the crime they committed.
We've never had any issues with people who are on the sex offender registry and our trick-or-treaters that we're aware of.
Now, although Lexington police say they don't see a problem with sex offenders preying on children on Halloween night, they say there are some tips that you and your children can follow. For starters, only trick or treat at houses that have their outside lights on versus a house that doesn't have its lights on. Police say one of the biggest issues they deal with on Halloween is kids running across the streets.
So I would say this: know where your kids are at all times.
In Lexington, Monique Blair, WKYT.
And you can find a link to the Kentucky Sex Offender Registry. We have that on our website at WKYT.com. Everybody be safe out there. You know, that's the most important thing, certainly.
Stay close to the little ones.
Yep. 4:40 the time, 20 before 5. WKYT this morning. We're just getting started with all the latest news.
Coming up, would you want the chance to stay overnight at Dracula's castle? Well, we'll tell you two people who are going to get that chance right after Micah's forecast.
We got some pretty chilly conditions early this morning, but this afternoon is well above average, and then it gets way above average as we head towards your weekend and also Halloween. I'm going to show you that in your 7-day coming up next.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
No major issues as you walk outside early this morning. Maybe a little hint of some fog here and there, but none of that is very dense. Just watch out for that, especially if you picked up rain yesterday. We're at 43 degrees right now in Frankfort, sitting there in the mid-40s pretty much anywhere you look, except for some locations there in the upper 30s, lower 40s. So it kind of depends on where you live. We're looking at that visibility. Obviously not an issue. Obviously it's back toward Bowling Green that they actually have the worst of it. But just heads up for it. It's very patchy here and there. Remember, these are the airport locations. That doesn't mean it's your backyard. That doesn't mean it's right down the street from you. But just know that some of these valley areas and also waterways, especially if you head over bridges and head over waterways, that's where you're going to be rolling into most of it. 67 degrees right now, right there in Lexington and surrounding areas later on this afternoon. Now, that is above average. Well, that's not well above average like we see for the weekend. If you're heading out this evening to go out to any events, it looks just fine. Off toward tomorrow morning, we start off in the lower 50s at 8 a.m. with a lot of sunshine to be had. So you'll have sunny skies today and tomorrow. That's perfect there for Keeneland. Keeneland's last days, today and tomorrow, just looks fantastic. Today, and it's kind of one of those times that it looks really good both days. But both days, they'll kind of differ from each other, temperature-wise. 67 on Friday and then add about 10 degrees, roughly 10 degrees to that for Saturday. Saturday may be a little bit warm, maybe warm for some of the guys wearing suits out there heading out to Keeneland. That goes for any events you have going on across the region there on Saturday. So here's the breakdown of the forecast. You can see 67 today. After today, we'll actually be in the mid to upper 70s all the way through midweek next week. Off toward Thursday and Friday, I'd say that's when you start to see a front slowly make its way through, and that will bring us much cooler air, but still much cooler air from upper 70s. I mean, you're still talking about average for this time of year. 64 is still right around average. So we're not really seeing a huge blast of cold air anytime soon. Still, I don't see it in the foreseeable future, but I will tell you this, deep into it, 2-3 weeks down the road, you're seeing little signs up in Canada. It's starting to get a little snowpack, and that typically means that we'll start to see some cool air shut down here. We'll see.
Has to happen, but
it has to happen.
Eventually.
We're going to enjoy this while it lasts.
Yeah,
exactly.
All right, Micah, thank you so much. 4:46 our time. Two fearless souls will come face to fang with the legend of Dracula. The winners of a contest will be spending a blood-curdling Halloween night inside the vampire's famed Transylvania castle.
Scary stuff. Terry Okita went to Romania to find out what tricks and treats are in store for them.
This misty mountaintop manor, perched high above Transylvania, was reserved for royalty until now. For the first time in its 640-year history, Bran Castle will open its medieval wooden doors to 2 overnight guests from the public. The spooky fortress is the backdrop for the 1897 Bram Stoker classic, Dracula. It holds a labyrinth of candlelit corridors and secret passageways for the guests to experience.
They will arrive in Transylvania by a horse-driven carriage. At night, they will be going to sleep with only the sounds of wolves howling outside the castle.
Airbnb received more than 80,000 entries for its contest from people longing to spend Halloween night in the vampire's lair.
To regain his strength from all the bloodletting, the story goes, Dracula needs rest inside his coffin, which is where the winners will sleep, if they can.
Despite his reign of terror, the bloodthirsty, shape-shifting Dracula remains the most popular horror figure of all time. Bram Stoker's great-grandnephew says he knows why.
The story revolves around superstitions, mythologies, and immortality. It's always been in people's consciousness. What happens after you die?
Guests are warned not to bring garlic, crosses, or silver, which could scare off the vampire. They'll find out soon enough if Count Dracula lives on. Terry Okita, CBS News, Transylvania.
Looks pretty scary, didn't it?
Like you said, you do that, but how much sleep are you really going to get if you're there? I don't think so.
And I think a network reporter had to be in a casket.
I know. We're like, come on, Terry, you don't have to do that anymore. You've made it.
That's right. Oh, 4:48 our time on WKYT this morning. We have a lot more news coming up for you. Hope you'll stay right here with us.
Still ahead, hundreds of people are helping raise money to help people battling homelessness, addiction, and mental illness. We'll have that story and much more right after the break.
Good morning. Welcome back in 4:51 on WKYT this morning. Police have evicted hundreds of people protesting an oil pipeline that's being built in North Dakota.
Police fired beanbags and pepper spray to force the protesters to leave. Thankfully, no serious injuries were reported, but more than 140 people have been arrested so far, including a woman police say fired shots at them. The protesters had been camping on land owned by an energy company that's in the path of the Dakota Access Pipeline. The pipeline's route skirts a nearby reservation. Native Americans who live there worry the pipeline will endanger their water supplies and disturb cultural sites. The treasurer of a northern Kentucky church is being accused of stealing more than $50,000. State police charged 59-year-old Dorothy Barth with theft by unlawful taking. They arrested her Wednesday. Police say Barth was the treasurer for Trinity United Methodist Church in Augusta. They say she stole the money between September of 2015 and June of this year. Church members we spoke with say they're shocked.
I'm appalled. If this is true, how somebody could do something like this to a small church in a small community, because they function on very small amounts of people, and it's sad. It's very sad.
Church leaders didn't want to talk to us about the case.
We have some more information about a murder investigation in southern Kentucky. The case against the suspect, Daniel Blair, has been sent to the Cumberland County Grand Jury. Police say he shot 38-year-old Michael Taylor to death earlier this month in Burkesville. During a hearing, police testified that Blair admitted killing Taylor and hiding the gun in an abandoned trailer.
Some people in Harlan County aren't happy with some repairs made to a busy road. For more than a mile of Highway 72 near Harlan, there's a strip of blacktop covering the middle of the road. The Kentucky Transportation Cabinet says the road had potholes up to 5 inches deep that needed immediate repair. They say the project will be inspected to make sure the road is now safe.
Hundreds of people are helping raise money for the Hope Center in Lexington. The annual Ball Homes Night of Hope was held at the Lexington Opera House last night. Actress Meredith Baxter of the hit 1980s sitcom Family Ties was the featured speaker. Baxter shared her struggle with alcoholism and getting sober. Hope Center officials say the money raised will help programs for the homeless, also addiction and mental illness issues. And it was our Amber Philpott there who was helping out.
By her.
Right, she was emceeing there last night.
Such a wonderful event.
Yes, absolutely. Very important in the community. Coming next, a look at some of the stories our news team is working on for you this Friday morning.
And we'll have another look at your morning and weekend forecast coming up.
Hey there, good morning and welcome back in. Rolling up on 5 o'clock this morning. It's 4:57 and we're glad you're with us.
We are. Now it's time to take a look at some of the stories we're working on for you this morning.
We'll tell you more about human remains found in the Kentucky River over the last week. Authorities are planning to go back and search for a third time. We're going to give you the time frame on that and when to avoid that area coming up.
A lot of unanswered questions with that search, aren't there?
It's a mystery.
We're already off to a very chilly start this morning. It was a little bit nippy when we stepped outside.
A little foggy, kind of a little this, a little that, but no big deal out there at all, right?
There's no real main focus outside that we have to worry about. Yeah, it's just some patchy fog, and none of that is extremely dense. If you picked up some rain yesterday, just know that you're going to be running into a little fog here and there. 41 degrees right now in Lexington. More than likely, we'll finish off in the upper 30s. Get into your afternoon at 67, mostly sunny skies. Looks really nice, but you'll love this weekend forecast. I'll have that coming up.